Facebook stock crashed 58%. Buy or sell? What do you think? Welcome to the Valuation Masterclass case study, where you'll learn about interesting stocks and how to value them. What's interesting about Meta is that it trades at a PE ratio of 13 times. My God, that is low. This is Andrew Stotz of the Valuation Masterclass. Let's get started. Remember, this is for information purposes only, and it's not investment advice or a recommendation. Now, the rise and fall of Meta's stock price is an interesting story. During the pandemic, Meta's share price surged to 378 at a peak. That's from just 200 in May of 2022. Now, however, the third quarter 2021 results were slightly below expectations, and the share price dropped on the announcement. And then the big shock came with the fourth quarter 2021 announcement. Meta completely missed the revenue target that it had set. Also, Apple's changes in privacy rules limited customer tracking and hit the advertising business of Meta. Wow. By this time, the share price had gone from nearly 400 down to 200. Whew. And then in first quarter, Meta's share price dropped before the first quarter 2022 announcement. However, it exceeded analysts' expectations and therefore rebounded. But in second quarter of 22, Meta disappointed again with a weak bottom line, and the share price was down. And now the stock trades 50%, 58% below its all-time high. So my question to you is, Facebook stock crashed 58%. Should you buy or sell now? What would you do? Let's go into how to do research like a professional analyst. First, let's download the latest second quarter 2022 results. Here you can see I'm on the website, and I go to press releases, and I go to the quarterly results. And the press release starts with a statement from the Zuck. And what does he say? It was good to see positive trajectory on our engagement trends this quarter, coming from products like Reels and our investments in AI. That sounds kind of positive, right? But that's the way CEOs speak. But for the first time in history, Meta recorded a decline in revenue year on year. This is crazy. You can see that the revenue dropped by 1% for the first time ever in second quarter of 2022 compared to second quarter of 2021. Also, the profit margin fell year on year from 43% down to 29%. Now, the core business of advertising seems to have reached maturity. This table within the announcement that they made in the quarterly results shows us that the peak for advertising revenue was fourth quarter of 2021 when it was at 32 billion, let's say close to 33 billion. And now, as of second quarter, it's at 28 billion. That is a significant fall in revenue. So, in second quarter of 2022, it had fewer monthly active users. That's amazing. Look at this number. It's gone from 2.936 billion people in first quarter down to 2.934 billion people. Now, you may say, that's tiny, Andrew. Actually, it's not tiny because it's billions of people. But more importantly, this company has always been raising its number of active users. So this is a major change. But monetization has room to improve. What we can see here is that Meta could generate massive growth if it finds a way to monetize users outside of the US. Their worldwide ARPU, or average revenue per user, is about $10, let's say. And in the US and Canada, they're earning $50 from every user. And in Asia Pacific, it's $4, and the rest of the world, it's $3. There is a long way to go up if they can get that up. So, if you want to learn to value companies like this, join my 6-week Valuation Masterclass Bootcamp. You'll learn practical valuation skills. You'll access my tools, tips, and tricks. You'll join an inspiring group of financial professionals, and you'll get a job through my network. The next boot camp starts on October 10th. and January 9th of 2023 for January. If you're watching this video, you get an additional $100 off. Just scan this QR code or go to valuationmasterclass.com/bootcamp and make sure you use this coupon code YT22. So, Facebook stock crashed 58%. Should you buy or sell? What would you do? Now let's look at Meta, which has diversified its revenue streams. Zuckerberg has placed a huge bet on the metaverse. However, its metaverse bet is being done through a company called Reality Labs. And here we can see that Reality Labs revenue disappointed in second quarter 2022 with $452 million compared to $695 just one quarter before. So that is a painful situation with Reality Labs. And it makes it even more painful when Zuckerberg is really ramping up CapEx. And in fact, one of the interesting things about Facebook is that we used to think it was an asset-light kind of tech company. Not anymore. The amount of fixed assets as a percent of total assets has almost gone to the average of all companies. So data centers, storage, all kinds of other fixed assets that they have. Now, there's no certainty that this major CapEx increase is going to pay off in the future. I would say, as we say, back in Ohio, we said, he's betting the farm. So more shocking than the flat revenue is the decline in profit. Here we can see that operating profit margin shrunk from 29% back in fourth quarter of 2022, from 46% back then to 29% now. Basically, it cut in half. And more importantly, the business segment Reality Labs continues to produce a $3 billion loss every quarter. Can you imagine losing $3 billion every single quarter? Of course, the company's highly profitable. They've got a lot of cash. They can bear it, but they're making a bet, and that bet may work out, or it may not. Now, has Facebook lost its profitability? Well, let's look at the fundamentals. Here, I show a common-sized financial statement, a P&L, and what we can see is the gross profit margin of 28.7 of all companies in the world, an EBIT profit margin of 9.5, and a net profit margin of 5.7. That's 11,656 companies worldwide. But Facebook is in the global communication sector, and we can see that the gross profit margin in that sector is double at 53.9. The EBIT is much higher at 15.7, and the net profit margin is also much higher at 9.5. So let me ask you, where do you think Facebook is? Let's look at the EBIT. We're going to focus on that EBIT, or operating profit. You can see the average for the industry is 15.7, and boom, here we can see Alphabet at 24.8 and Facebook at 40.8. Oh, not bad. That's pretty awesome. But wait a minute. This is a 4-year average. This isn't what's happening lately. So if we look at that, we can also see Twitter, disaster, Pinterest, loss, Snapchat, loss. So we can say that Alphabet and Facebook are doing pretty well. But in second quarter of 2022, that EBIT margin is now 29%, not 40.8. So, is it the end of Meta's dominance? I want to wrap this up by continuing just to look a little bit more at Facebook. Stock crashed 58%. Would you buy or sell? Don't expect Meta to turn around the negative trend in the short run. Why? Well, you can see that we expect third quarter of 2022 total revenue to be in the range of 26 to 28.5 billion. Well, this means Meta expects its revenue in third quarter of 2022 to be 1.1 to 9.7% weaker than the already disappointing second quarter 2022. Now, companies are known sometimes to sandbag it and hope that they're going to have a bigger number, but that's a pretty significant one. Also, there's something to consider. He says our guidance assumes foreign currency will be an approximately 6% headwind to year-on-year total revenue growth. What does this mean? Well, the strong dollar makes revenue abroad worth less. We can see that 47% of total revenue is coming from the US and Canada, but if we look at the rest of the world, those dollars or foreign currencies that Facebook is earning over there, think about me, I'm here in Thailand, I pay for a Facebook ad, I'm going to pay in Thai baht, and that's eventually going to get translated back into dollars in America. So let's take an example of the euro. In August of 2021, 1 euro was worth $1.19. But now you only get $1 for each euro. The currency effect on revenue in this example would be a hit of 15.9. So this strong dollar that we have is very, very, very dangerous for these guys. So I'm going to wrap it up, and I want to hear from you. Facebook stock has crashed 58%. Would you buy or sell? Let me know in the comments.